Welcome people on Rauta, and this time we're gonna go into a take that is about legal issues, but also copyright ones, which are technically speaking always related to one another, but obviously beyond that. Now recently, guitarist from Sweden, Ola Englund, which a lot of people you might know from bands like The Haunted, and for his own channel, which is like a million times bigger than mine, recently did a video about how his own songs and some haunted stuff was also stolen and then republished by another artist, obviously, or it seems from China, which was then again owned by a really, really big company, Tencent, which is like, owns things like at least part of the Bandcamp and big gaming companies and all that stuff. So multimedia company that owns a lot of things. Not really a small company to, fight with. But Ola Englund did what he was supposed to do, what everybody probably expected to do, the only right thing, and challenge these people, the artist, the label, and so forth. But this also means that he had to do a lot of efforts put into, letting YouTube know, letting Spotify know, and so forth. Let's talk about that, and I'll put this on the background so you don't have to just go with my face and all. So in this 5 minutes video, which I'm gonna link into the very video of my own, is basically a continuation to his previous take on the very topic. Now, how I got to, actually read about it was through a normal press release letter. Normally, I would probably ignore and move on because a lot of press releases in the metal music industry are not that interesting. But this particular one got in my interest because, first and foremost, whether you are a YouTuber or Instagram or podcast person that is an influencer or normal music journalist, I basically have, one foot on the other field aside my day job, meaning I do reviews, I do interviews, and then I do these videos. So obviously these kind of stuff that actually got my attention for a couple of reasons. Like I said, influencers and press people are supposed to be not only gatekeeping and informing people about, bands on tours or doing gigs or new albums, all the announcement and the good news. We're also supposed to, at least in my opinion, even though I'm by no means a pro journalist, never been, never will be. But in my opinion, we are supposed to talk about these not so nice news also, because it's gonna affect a lot of us. Whether you are just a mere fan, or more importantly, you're part of the industry, you're yourself a musician, journalist, influencer, a part of the record industry business, any kind of a worker, and this is gonna probably, influence you as well. Not directly, but still. Including promoters, managers, etc. There are lots of people all these can affect. So what really happened here is an artist known as YB. That can be a very, very fake name, not really a real person and all. We don't know it that yet. And doesn't really matter if it was, found out. What matters is that what really happened was the kind of a next step that is kind of supposed to happen after all the AI, artificial intelligence things having their tentacles squirming into the world of, music. Meaning, first you'll start seeing this, that AI is, taking the word of graphics artists and, being replaced by machines. I'm not gonna say all good, but to a certain degree understandable. There are lots of people who don't have money. The next obvious step, and this is a rather nasty one, is actually outright stealing, where AI is basically generating stuff based on real art. So stealing in quotation marks, and really stealing, but basically creating the material based on that. Sorry, not creating, generating. Now, what this is really happening is just outright stealing. So as an artist, for example, might, do music, upload into your different platforms and all, and then someone else comes and basically republishes the whole thing here and calls it their own. See the problem here? Not only you are losing revenue, but basically your stuff is being copied and republished, and then basically challenging your own copyrights for your own creations as not being the original creator. So that's what happened with Ola Englund, with his music and music created for his own stuff as well as haunted and who knows what. And this is just one example because this could really happen to any of you. Doesn't matter if you're an underground black metal artist and you're like, I don't give a fuck, but I'll talk about that in a second. Or you could be some more mainstream kind of music, metal or otherwise, doesn't really matter. But basically, if you create something and then someone else takes the credit, all the attention, all the even money for your work, it's gonna piss a lot of people off. And this is actually what happens to a lot of artists who decide to not to put their music on, say, Spotify or whatever. A lot of their music is being ripped from vinyl or tapes or CDs or just from various sources, including Bandcamp or whatever, and then uploaded into YouTube channels, which mean they're creating revenue for something else. Like I said, maybe for some people it doesn't really give a damn. They're just like, okay, pirate my music, I don't give a fuck, we are not doing this for money. It's fine. I mean, if you really find that someone else is making a little bit of revenue out of your music without you getting a dime, well, the better for you. But what lies, the basic problem that lies within is not about real money. I mean, it's important part of the whole thing after all, whether you are buying new guitar strings or, I don't know, a new microphone or replacing your own laptop, whatever matter, money really helps a lot of things. And more so it is involved when we're talking about printing merchandise or going on tours and all that stuff. Unless you live in a utopia or you're really Metallica size of a thing, you probably have to invest your own money in order to make things happen, including the gigs and whatnot. So money unfortunately plays an important factor here. But like I said, even if we're not talking about money, it's the bottom line that really annoys me and is gonna be a very, very disturbing thing, is that some people or some piece of AI, for instance, could basically just steal your music and then upload it and make it your own. Now, there is a fundamental difference between this and so-called home piracy. In home piracy, technically speaking, what you're doing is you're taking the music and distributing for free, and that's it. But you're never claiming it on your own, meaning it's not going to affect copyright stuff. You're basically just more or less illegal ways distributing music or videos, games, whatever people do. And like I said, some people this is just fine because it's getting them more coverage and everybody gets to know like, hey, cool, my underground band, which has like 5 followers on Bandcamp, is now getting thousands and thousands of views because some people put it on YouTube or whatever pirate site happening right there. And they could be like, okay, cool. I mean, I remember already like maybe 15, 20 years when piracy was really on the table, years before any kind of streaming services existed. And some artists were like, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Our album sales are not affected by piracy. It just gives our music more audience, which means more people will come to the shows, buy merchandise and all. Like I said, that degree is kind of understandable. It's just a gray zone, not exactly legal, but if artists are fine with that, okay. But when you're stepping in this like this way, basically stealing or copying the music, because obviously it's not stealing in the sense of traditional dubstep. So like, if you take my mouse and move it someplace else, I mean, then I don't have a mouse. But when you're copying music, my music is still right there. But if somebody else is making money without my permission or labels for that matter, things get a little bit complicated, and it is way more than that. Especially when they are kind of also putting your copyright into problem, meaning you're gonna get fucked just because someone else is copying that stuff and making money. So see, there is a big fucking difference when you are doing this, what happened to Ola Englund. And obviously this is just one case, and who knows what will happen in the future. Will there be more AI generated stuff or people involved stealing stuff? Nowadays, especially I get to see a lot of this because I also work a little bit with cybersecurity in my day job. We are gonna see people being stolen, their credit cards or passwords to certain services. Like not that long time ago, for example, Horna's Facebook site was hacked and then taken over by some asshole. And that this person or group of people, we don't know, actually took over the Horna site, which resulted Horna being gone from Facebook because it was used for adult entertainment, and as such, a lot of their social media following just poof disappeared. So these kind of copyright problems or taking over or stealing your information is very, very much more serious than a lot of people think. Some people are going to say, I don't have secrets. No problem if somebody hacks into my social media platform and starts, stealing my photos and all that stuff. But it's actually way more serious. So what we have here is, in my opinion, a cap of an iceberg. You see only the top part of the whole problem, where the whole big iceberg underneath the surface level is actually the real shit what is happening. First you might lose a little bit. Then you start losing money. Then you start losing your own copyrights. Then you start losing private information, which can and most likely will be used against you, and things get even more fucked. So I'm really happy, obviously, that Ola Englund made this video and put it right there. Obviously, if you're a smaller artist, you might not even notice that your art is being copied and republished, and all that stuff might not even affect you, especially if you're not big enough to see any revenue in the first place, meaning there might not be even those copyright claims. But you don't have to do more than what a lot of YouTube people or other influencers do. If you use some of the material here, YouTube will automatically notice that copyright thing. For example, if I started playing some music here, which was already copyrighted, and then I would just play it on along, whatever, I would get a copyright claim that this is not my creation, which it wouldn't be, and rightfully so. It would just put any possible revenue from the ad money to this particular copyright owner. But what if I managed to steal all that? And these artists would actually start losing money and losing their copyrights because people like me would be abusing the system and claiming it in my own. See, so there are so many problems related with stuff like that. And like I said, smaller artists will never know it. But you don't have to be really that big that it starts to affect you. So who knows, maybe there will be more ongoing things like this. Obviously, Ola Englund is at the moment, or maybe has been already fighting and getting some of the copyright stuff, which he explains in the video. So it's not totally lost. But the funny and more annoying thing is, even if you win the case, you are supposed to do those emails, make those claims, and put hours and hours into fighting what is already yours. So it's always the victim who gets to suffer. And there is no easy way out, because there are no ways to police the whole system. There is no one there to protect you so that 100% whatever you do, you're going to be safe and you're just going to, close call, my friend. But no, you're going to get fucked first, and only afterwards you get sent these patches and say, sorry, these things happened, we didn't know, blah, blah, blah. So take this as a warning. Make sure you always have your things in a safe place. Make sure that you are alert. Have your passwords good and sound. Have 2FA systems to protect your own system, even though in such cases like this, it won't protect you, but it might, get worse than just this if you are loosely protected. So these are serious issues, even if the topic might sound problematic. And what Ola says in the end of the video, always be ready to support your favorite artist, because the streaming might not be enough. So go to see the shows, buy merchandise, go for the physical products if you're still in that mental state that you like physical albums, much like I do and a lot of people out there do. Lots of random rambling. Just want to make this video because it's a really, really important stuff, even if it's dull one. What are your thoughts? Have you been following Ola's takes on the stuff or the case? If you have, what do you think about it? Do you have personal experience with similar copyright problems or people copying, pirating, whatever your stuff? Please let me know, and let's discuss it later on. Take care.